It happened in an unusually unexpected fashion. A banquet was called by Mayor Wang Maoling, to which he invited many people from the Education Commission, among whom was Tsai Pei, who was the head of the Education Commission at that time. We had the usual perfect banquet with the usual large amount of overproof drinks. And after a while, I was getting very nice and happy and pleasantly looser in my understanding of how we could communicate. And I said, in this little happy stupor that I was getting into, well, I'll bring you 25 Americans next summer, and we'll have a conference.
Since Lin has taught in China for years, and I have been at SUNY Albany as a visiting scholar for 2 years, so we talked a lot.
We had only one ground rule, and that was that there would be no papers read. How could you have a conference without papers? Well, I said, trust me, we will. He said, what will we do? We'll talk.
We changed the format from plenaries and presentations to small group work, to discussions, to dialogues, to visits to sites that are related to the topics of the small groups.
The mayor, Dr. Lin Bailiff, and I, we made a decision to hold Sino-American Conference on Education next summer, 1985. We talked a lot about education in China.
And we are still talking, and we are still not reading papers, and we have covered many, many topics.
The conference is organized into several small groups focusing on particular topics. For example, one topic might be technology in education. Another was ESL, workforce development. There are a variety of topics, but those have been mutually agreed on.
I have worked in Beijing, I have taught in Beijing, but I wanted this project to be done outside of the East Coast cities. It is much more interesting to be working in the interior of China, which are also usually the poorer areas.
City University of New York is the only university in the United States that has participated with an entire Chinese provincial educational system, from a variety of more than 18 to 20 colleges in China, and the Education Commission and the Chinese Education Association for International Exchanges. For the City University, it has been a grassroots process by a core group of faculty, a few unit administrators getting together, initiating, working in cooperation with Shanxi province to implement the conferences and actions in between the conferences.
I think the exchange enabled the Americans and Chinese to understand and appreciate each other's culture better. Everybody on the CUNY side contributed time or even money. The exchange has been really a low-cost operation. I think there are really probably in the 150 faculty members, administrators, educators on the CUNY side have participated, involved in the exchange. And its involvement does not count toward your teaching load. And it's completely, I say, grassroots, completely voluntary.
Both had a kind of sense of inferiority. The Americans, in terms of our thoroughgoing ignorance about the depth of Chinese culture and history. And the Chinese, the sense of the modernization that was so rapidly occurring in the Western world. And both of us, how to be sure to approach each other in a way that didn't seem to imply that modernization meant Westernization.
This period has marked the biggest political and economic changes in China's history. We've built up trust because of the friendship and the professionalism between the two sides. We've been able to withstand events over which we have no control.
In spite of ideological, political, and tension differences during the 25 years.
In 1989, many Americans being very agitated about the June 4th Tiananmen incident, or in 1999, many Chinese being very agitated about the American bombing of China's Belgrade embassy.
This mutual trust on a person-to-person basis was important in transcending that, saying, yes, there are these tensions, but our association with each other on a Shanxi to CUNY basis has transcended those differences and those tensions.
The benefits have been quite substantial for this university. It really introduced me to professionals, scientists, educators, and business people in China, and has resulted in we at this university today ratcheting up our involvement in China.
One of the indirect results of the 25 years of this conference has been a research network that Ren Xinhua at Taiyuan University of Technology was instrumental in putting together. They call it CERNET.
China Education Research Network in Shanxi province.
Which is an incredibly high-speed research network that connects all of the universities in Shanxi province with the rest of China and the internet. It was an incredible thing to see and to learn about, a moment of great envy on my part and sort of surprised delight that this existed.
Open libraries in all of China.
We published 16 books, including 11 proceedings.
The faculty exchange.
About 20 faculty have come here from Shanxi in the ESL and TOEFL, supported by ETS.
And they created an association we called Shanxi Foreign Teacher Association.
In 1988, I remember leading a delegation of scientists talking about university corporate relationships, which I was interested at the time and continue to be interested. And I think so much of what I learned through that exchange has informed some of the practices that we have done here at this university.
I think the exchange enabled the Americans and Chinese to understand and appreciate each other's culture better.
Friendship, mutual understanding, brainstorming, idea exchanging, paradigm shift.
Indeed, it is a friendship exchange, and indeed it is the academic exchange, really both.
These small conference action groups.
And the participants in the work groups themselves mutually decided on the topics that they would be discussing each year of the conference. When we got there, I think I was most surprised simply by the advanced level of the technology that we were discussing in the work group. I feel like, I had put together a little presentation about security, having no idea what my audience was really going to be like, and my sense was that I wasn't telling them very much, which was a great thing. It enabled us to have a much richer and higher level discussion than I had feared we'd be able to. There's been a reasonably wide range of topics covered. Teaching with technology, literature, history and social responsibility, computer and information technology, sustainability in the environment, university science parks and technology transfer, workforce development, curriculum development, a remarkably wide range of topics.
The Chancellor of the City University of New York hosts receptions for every conference delegate. The Chinese Consulate General, the ambassadors, always host a reception. American delegates also invite the Chinese delegate to their homes for house parties.
After the first conference, we did each get a bottle of Fengjiu. It's overproof liquor. It smells like hell. And as some of my friends in the West have said, this is not my drink. But in fact, I found it my drink.
They've developed strong personal friendships as well as collegial relationships with people in China.
An evening barbecue in the backyard of Louise and Mel Spain's brownstone in Park Slope. We had a traditional American barbecue for the Chinese guests in our work group, and a good time was had by all, for sure.
Running out on the track in the morning, participating in Tai Chi, sitting by at Shanxi University, sitting by the pond. We didn't talk about the conference. We talked about our families. We talked about things we enjoy. We talked about, can we continue to stay friends?
It's been some wonderful moments of fellowship over the meal table. When we go to China, we are given some astonishingly lavish banquets.
The food gets better, the food gets more, the drink gets stronger. The most enjoyable ones for me have been those that involve sitting around 10 huge tables, eating the best food in the world, and toasting each other all the time about anything.
I remember fondly my first visit to Jinsa Temple. There you have a temple complex on a mountainside that dates back thousands of years and that incorporates folklore and myth and history in a stunningly beautiful setting. And the themes tend to be about water and drought, and those centuries-long stories are still relevant today, but you find new things to connect and to think about and to explore further each time you return.
This will be the last conference of the large group format.
I envisage that at some point CUNY may want to have a facility in the province.
We hope that there will be some small-scale action projects based upon, focused on issues that are important to both China and the United States.
I would like to see collaborative institutional program, developing an online education program between Shanxi and the City University colleges.
Develop programs that will enhance our PhD programs and will allow our faculty also to have the experience of working with some of the leading universities in China.
Improvement of rural education in Shanxi and urban education in the United States. Can we work together on some action research projects?
I'm hoping that we'll find ways to continue a conversation about, say, computer science pedagogy. Perhaps we'll be able to find mutual areas of research interest that we can continue to collaborate upon. I'd hope that we could be able to have some sort of scholarly exchange.
In particular, we are very interested in recruiting students from all over China who are interested in getting a PhD in one of the areas of science that we are very much expanding.
Workforce development, which is important there and increasingly important in the United States.
Well, I'm very supportive of we continuing our work in the Shanxi exchange program.
That might involve doing mutual fundraising. It might involve bringing students over for certain programs. It might involve anything. The Chinese will know.
You have a big fan here and someone who really sees the importance of that relationship.
I really hope the tree of friendship will be flourishing forever.